Good day. Thank you for joining the Midday News on BCOS television. I am Ifeoluwa Olaoye. President Bola Tinubu has sought the approval of the Senate to borrow 1.15 trillion naira from the domestic debt market to finance part of the deficit in the 2025 national budget. The request, contained in a letter read during plenary by Senate President Godswill Akpabio, is the latest in a series of borrowing plans presented by the executive to sustain government programs amid tightening fiscal space. According to the president, the fresh borrowing would bridge the funding gap and ensure the full implementation of government programs and projects under the 2025 fiscal plan. Senator Akpabio referred the request to the Senate Committee on Local and Foreign Debt for further legislative consideration, directing it to report back within 1 week for subsequent action. Security experts have warned that Nigeria's position between superpowers such as the USA and China is precarious, making it imperative for the government to proactively address the country's lingering security challenges and mitigate potential risks. The admonition came from a security consultant, Group Captain Oladele Olasope, retired, and a security scholar, Oluwatobi Fatoki Esquire, while discussing the topic, alleged genocide against Christians, and Trump's threat on the BCOS program, breakfast program AM 120. Our reporter Fidora Afolagboye monitored the program and compiled this report.
The U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened military action against Nigeria, citing alleged Christian genocide in Nigeria and the need to protect Christians in the country. The American leader's threat has sparked international controversy. China and the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, condemned the move as unwarranted interference, while Nigeria debunked the claims on genocide against Christians, insisting that terrorism affects all, irrespective of faith or religious affiliation. The situation remains tense, with diplomatic engagement ongoing and global leaders weighing in on the controversy. Discussing this matter on AM 120, a security consultant, Group Captain Oladele Olasope, retired, explained that the situation transcends the matter of alleged genocide against Christians, noting that Muslims have also been killed in the north. He stressed that security should be prioritized without religious or ethnic sentiment.
The issue surpasses genocide against Christians simply because people that were killed in Borno State, they are mostly Muslims. Yobe State, they are mostly Muslims. Zamfara State, they are mostly Muslims. Look, genocide against Muslims, genocide against Christians. It is not restricted. We can't bring religion in. Okay. We cannot, you see, we cannot subsume security into politics or security into religion. Security must be treated on its own aspect.
Also featuring on the program, a security scholar, Oluwatobi Fatoki Esquire, noted that the government's primary duty is citizen security and welfare, adding that if the Nigerian government is not prepared to effectively combat insecurity, it should not complain when external forces intervene. He stressed that insecurity in Nigeria has escalated due to corruption, noting that a corrupt government cannot effectively combat insecurity. He said failure to act when necessary has also been a major contributory factor to the current situation.
Section 14(2)(b) of the Constitution says, security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. And when we are talking about the word primary, what primary connotes is something vital, essential purpose, major purpose. So if this is your primary purpose, security comes first. When you have welfare without security, you have nothing. When you have everything without peace, you have nothing.
The two gentlemen urged the government to adopt a more proactive approach to address the challenge of insecurity while encouraging citizens to avoid religious sentiment. Fedora Afolagwe, BCOS News.
In the digital age, the freedom of the press has a dual nature. While some journalists believe that press freedom has advanced compared to the military era, others argue that it remains vulnerable to threats. Our reporter, Frances Aino, provides an in-depth examination of the current press freedom landscape, including the mechanisms that threaten or protect it. She files in the details.
The freedom of the press continues to be a fundamental pillar for democratic societies, facilitating journalists' ability to report, investigate, and comment without undue governmental or commercial interference. The recent scrutiny of state-controlled media by platforms underscores the challenges to this freedom. Companies now label outlets they deem to be under partial or full editorial control of a government, basing their assessments on factors like ownership, funding, editorial guidelines, and statutory protections for independence. In an interview with BCOS News, veteran journalist Mrs. Folashade Bankole and Mr. Aderemi Adegbite observed that press freedom is greater now than under the military regime due to heightened awareness and public enlightenment. They urge the press to determine the nature of the government in power so that grievances can be expressed safely.
I think the press is more, we have a lot of freedom of press now. Because that time, most of the time it was military regime. But these days, people say the press say whatever they like to anybody. They write whatever they like on social media about anybody. And I think there is a lot of improvements.
We are in this nation. Like formerly, when you express anything, you can be sent to jail. Some are being killed instantly based on his expression, either on against the government or whatever. But now, I would say that maybe due to enlightenment and maybe awareness, the freedom of the expression is actually gaining ground because of the fundamental human rights. People are now. So I can say really now that things are improving.
In a contrasting opinion, Mr. Femi Idowu posited that the press has become more subdued, with reporters now seemingly indifferent to monetary considerations, whereas previously they were driven by controversial topics. He recommended that the press undertake training, contending that such preparation would empower them to secure the freedom they seek.
My take is, if our journalists, if our news practitioner, program producers, and if they are more trained, if they are more emboldened to be real professionals, we will be better off. The media will be better off. There's no point saying government should do. No government will give you the freedom like that. You must take the freedom. You must act in such a way that the freedom will be yours. So it's up to us as professionals a lot.
Respondents urge the government to promote an environment that allows journalists to work freely without fear of reprisal or censorship. Frances Aino, BCOS News.
Police Service Commission staff monitors have been deployed to the 3 senatorial zones of Anambra State to monitor police conduct during this Saturday's governorship election in the state. This was disclosed in a statement by the head, Press and Public Relations, Ikechukwu Ani. The national coordinator and chairman of the commission, DIG Hashimu Agugo, retired, has warned that police officers on electoral duties must exhibit a high level of impartiality and discipline and must ensure that both the electoral officers and the electoral materials are protected. The PSC chairman also directed that the policemen on election duty must ensure that a conducive environment is created for the people of Anambra State to vote without hindrance, adding that officers who compromise their rules of engagement will be sanctioned. DIG Agugu said the Anambra election should be a test case for the police as the nation prepares for the 2027 general elections. He, however, expressed happiness with the preparations so far put in place by the Anambra State Police Command, especially the State Commissioner, Dr. Iroyin Ojokanri, who, according to reports, has recently visited all the area commands and known flashpoints in the state to underscore the readiness of the police to ensure a free and fair election. You can watch us on GoTV channel 134 and channel 113 on Star Times. Now, before I go, security is everybody's business. If you see something, say something. That ends the midday news. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon.
Please listen to this public service announcement. Depositing of building materials and indiscriminate parking of grounded vehicles on the roads are against public good. Do you know that it is unlawful to deposit sand, stones, bamboo trees, granites, and other building materials on the roads? Do you also know that damaged or grounded vehicles are not to be parked at all on the roads? Such unwholesome and bad practice have continued to narrow down public roads and thoroughfares and sometimes contribute to accidents. This bad behavior and practices constitute a waste of public funds, as money that's supposed to be used for other infrastructures are still being used to repair same old roads previously constructed with taxpayers' money. Let us help the government to help ourselves. Now is a time for a change of attitude to avoid being caught on the wrong side of the law. We call on landlords, landladies, builders and developers whose houses and structures are close to the roads to desist from such detrimental practice in the overall interest of all and sundry. Any further violation ranging from depositing building materials, indiscriminate parking of grounded vehicles, or any obstruction of free flow of traffic on the road will be met with appropriate disciplinary action by relevant authorities. Stop the bad practice of dumping things on our roads. Comply with environmental and traffic laws for a healthy and friendly road useful for all. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. This public service announcement is powered by BCOS.
Do you know that goods and services being produced in the country are world class? Do you also know that goods and services being offered are cheaper when compared with foreign products without compromising standards? Why therefore do you condemn and devalue homemade goods to the advantage of foreign manufacturers? Let's change our attitude. Patronize homemade goods and improve our foreign earnings. Let us boost internally generated revenue for the nation and the pace-setter state. Let's take pride in our own goods and services. Together, we can promote made in Nigerian goods. This message is powered by BCOS.
Ẹ káàsán, a kú àtàárọ̀. Ìròyìn ọjọ́ kan rí òun la mú wá fún yín. Ayọ̀rìndé Ọlágòkè ní oníròyìn yín. Ààrẹ Bọ́lá Tinubu fẹ́ kí ilé aṣòfin àpapọ̀ ilẹ̀ yìí fọwọ́ sí ètò owó ìyá kan tó tó tírílíọ̀nù kan náírà ó lé díẹ̀ lọ́jà abẹ́lé láti fi gbọ́ bùkátà ètò ìṣúná tọdún yìí. Ìbéèrè ààrẹ Tinubu ló wà nínú ìwé tí ó kọ sílé aṣòfin àgbà ilẹ̀ yìí níbi ìjókòólé èyí tí olórí ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin àgbà ilẹ̀ yìí Godswill Akpabio níbi ìjókòó náà tó wáyé. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ilé ti wí, ẹ̀yáwó náà tó ń gbèrò yìí òní yóò lò láti fi di àwọn àlàfo tó jẹyọ lágbọ́n ti ètò ìnáwó àti fífún ṣíṣàmúṣẹ ètò gbogbogbò àtàwọn iṣẹ́ àkànṣe tó wà nínú ètò ìṣúná tọdún tá a wà yìí. Ààrẹ ilé-ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin àgbà ilẹ̀ yìí Godswill Akpabio tí wàá taari ìbéèrè ààrẹ Tinubu síwájú ìgbìmọ̀lé aṣòfin àgbà fọ́rọ̀ gbèsè tá a jẹ lábẹ́lé àti nílé òkèrè kí wọ́n sì jábọ̀ fún ilé láàrin ọ̀sẹ̀ kan kí àwọn aṣòfin lè gbé ìgbésẹ̀ tó yẹ lórí rẹ̀. Ipò tí orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà wà láàrin àwọn alágbára bíi ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà àti ilẹ̀ China pé ó léwu gan-an. Èyí ó sì tún pọn dandan fún ìjọba àpapọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí láti ṣàmójútó ọ̀rọ̀ ètò ààbò ilẹ̀ yìí tó mẹ́hẹ. Ọ̀rọ̀ ìyànjú yìí ló wáyé láti ẹnu àwọn onímọ̀ nípa ọ̀rọ̀ ètò ààbò. Ajagun fẹ̀yìntì Ọládélọlá sọ pé àti onímọ̀ nípa ọ̀rọ̀ ètò ààbò ọ̀gbẹ́ni Olúwatóbi Fátókí nígbà tí wọ́n ń sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ètò iléeṣẹ́ wa AM120 pàápàá jùlọ lórí ìdúnmọ̀wòrò ààrẹ ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà Donald Trump tó ń ṣe lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ilẹ̀ yìí. Akọ̀ròyìn iléeṣẹ́ wa Fedora Fọlágbóyè tọ́pẹ́ ìpètò náà òtókòrè ẹ bá mi ká lọ. Ààrẹ ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà Donald Trump ló ti halẹ̀ láti gbé ìgbésẹ̀ ológun tako orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà pẹ̀lú ṣíṣe àwọn ọmọlẹ́yìn Kristi bí ó ṣe tọ́ nílẹ̀ yìí àti ìdí láti fi dáàbò bo àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà pàápàá jùlọ àwọn ọmọlẹ́yìn Kristi. Ìdúnmọ̀wòrò aṣáájú ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà náà ló ń kọ àwùjọ àgbáyé lóminú. Orílẹ̀-èdè China àti àjọ ECOWAS bu ẹnu àtẹ́ lu ìgbésẹ̀ náà nígbà tí orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà náà sì tako ẹ̀sùn gbígbógun ti àwọn ọmọlẹ́yìn Kristi tí ó tún jẹ́ kí ó di mímọ̀ pé gbogbo ẹ̀yà àti ẹ̀sìn lọ́rọ̀ agbésùnmọ̀mí kan lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí. Ọ̀rọ̀ náà sì ń ká àwọn èèyàn láyà sókè pẹ̀lú bí ìfikùnlukùn ṣe ń tẹ̀síwájú láàrin àwọn orílẹ̀‐èdè méjèèjì àti àwọn aṣáájú lágbàáyé tí wọ́n dá sí ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀hún. Nígbà tí ó ń dá sí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí lórí ètò iléeṣẹ́ wa AM120 ọ̀jìnì nípa ọ̀rọ̀ ètò ààbò ajagunfẹ̀yìntì Ọládélọlá sọ pé ṣàlàyé pé ọ̀rọ̀ náà kọjá pé àwọn ọmọlẹ́yìn Kristi nìkan ni ó ń dojúkọ ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ìṣekúpani lọ́nà àìtọ́. Ó ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn mùsùlùmí náà ni wọ́n ti pa lápá àríwá orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Ó tẹnumọ́ pé ó yẹ kí wọ́n mú ọ̀rọ̀ ààbò lẹ́kùnkúndùn láìsí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn tàbí tẹlẹ́yàmẹ̀yà níbẹ̀. Nígbà tí òun náà ń kópa lórí ètò náà, onímọ̀ nípa ọ̀rọ̀ ètò ààbò ọ̀gbẹ́ni Olúwatóbi Fátókí Esquire wòye pé ojúṣe ìjọba sáwọn aráàlú ní ètò ààbò wọn tí ó fi mọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ gbàyégbádùn wọn pẹ̀lú tí ó sì ṣàfikún pé bí ìjọba orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ò bá ti múra láti kojú ọ̀rọ̀ ètò ààbò tó mẹ́hẹ kò ní ṣe é ṣàlàyé nígbà tí àwọn ikọ̀ ọmọ ogun láti ilẹ̀ òkèrè bá dá sí ọ̀rọ̀ náà. Ó ní ọ̀rọ̀ ètò ààbò tí ó mẹ́hẹ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà ti kọjá bí ó ṣe yẹ nítorí ìwà àjẹbánu. Ó wòye pé ìjọba tí àjẹbánu bá ti gògùn níbẹ̀ kí ó lè ṣe sí rere nípa gbígbógun ti ìgbésùmọ̀mí lọ́nà tí yóò fi nípa rere lórí àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè kan. Ó ní kíkùnà láti ṣe ohun tó tọ́ lásìkò tó yẹ ló jẹ́ àwọn nǹkan gbòógì tí ó fa ipò tí orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà wà báyìí. Àwọn méjèèjì rọ ìjọba láti wá ọ̀nà kan gbòógì láti fi mójútó ọ̀rọ̀ ètò ààbò tó mẹ́hẹ lórílẹ̀-èdè yìí nígbà tí wọ́n sì tún ra ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà láti yàgò fún ọ̀rọ̀ ẹlẹ́sìnmẹ̀sìn tàbí ẹlẹ́yàmẹ̀yà ní gbogbo nǹkan tí wọ́n bá ń ṣe. Ayọ̀rìndé Ọlágòkè ló ń ròyìn fún iléeṣẹ́ BCOS. Níta ìmọ̀ ẹ̀rọ ajé òde òní tá a wà nínú rẹ̀ yìí, ipa méjì ni òmìnira àwọn oníròyìn pín sí. Lérò àwọn kan, ìgbàgbọ́ wọn ni pé ọ̀pọ̀ òmìnira àwọn oníròyìn tó sún síwájú tá a bá gbé sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ sí ìṣèjọba ológun, nígbà tí àwọn oníròyìn mìíràn sì ń jàníyàn pé iṣẹ́ ìròyìn kún fún onírúurú ìdúnkokò mọ́ni. Akọ̀ròyìn iléeṣẹ́ wa Francis Àná bójú wo ọ̀rọ̀ òmìnira àwọn oníròyìn lóde òní nínú èyí tá a ti rí àwọn ìdojúkọ tí àwọn oníròyìn fojú winá rẹ̀ pàápàá jùlọ látọ̀dọ̀ àwọn èèyàn nígboro. Ìròyìn tó mú bọ̀ rèé lẹ́nu Dámilọ́lá Owólabí.
Òmìnira àwọn akọ̀ròyìn jẹ́ òpó kan gbòógì fún ìṣèjọba àwarawa yìí tó ń fún àwọn akọ̀ròyìn láǹfààní àti ṣe ìwádìí àti láti ṣiṣẹ́ wọn bó ti yẹ lábẹ́ òfin láì fi síbì kan. Àmọ́ bí wọ́n ṣe ń tọpinpin ìṣọwọ́ ṣiṣẹ́ àwọn iléeṣẹ́ ìròyìn tó jẹ́ tìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ lẹ́nu lọ́lọ́ yìí ń tàbùkù òmìnira yìí. Àwọn iléeṣẹ́ ìròyìn tó wà lábẹ́ àkóso ìjọba ni wọn kì í lè sojú abẹ́ ń kó nítorí àtìlẹ́yìn tíjọba ń ṣe fún wọn. lásìkò ìfọ̀rọ̀wérọ̀ pẹ̀lú akọ̀ròyìn iléeṣẹ́ wa arábìnrin Fọláṣadé Bánkọ́lé àti ọ̀gbẹ́ni Adérẹ̀mí Adégbìtẹ́ wòye pé òmìnira àwọn akọ̀ròyìn tó ti gbilẹ̀ sí lásìkò yìí ju ìgbà ológun lọ nítorí ìlanilọ́yẹ̀. Wọ́n rọ àwọn akọ̀ròyìn pé kí wọ́n kíyèsára nípa ìjọba tó ń ṣàkóso lọ́wọ́ kí wọ́n lè mọ bí wọ́n ṣe lè fi ẹ̀dùn ọkàn wọn hàn.
gbogbo tí wọ́n ń ṣe ń sìn tí wọ́n ń kọ sínú social media tí wọ́n ń sọ sínú pépà tí wọ́n ń send out tí wọ́n ń fi síta wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe 10 years ago. àsìkò yìí ó yẹ káwọn press ó yẹ kí inú wọn máa dùn ní wípé yes àwọn ti ní freedom.
ní orílẹ̀-èdè nígbà kan a ti rí àwọn ìjọba tó ti pa ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ènìyàn tí wọ́n mú àwọn èèyàn lọ sínú ọgbà ẹ̀wọ̀n nítorí nǹkan tí wọ́n sọ wọ́n sẹ́ndì lẹ́tà àdó olóró sí ẹlòmíì nítorí ẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n náà rí pé nítorí pé ìjọba tá a ní ìsìn lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ wọ́n ti sọ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan sí ìjọba tá a ní lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí tí ó ti pé wọ́n mú ẹnikẹ́ni tàbí wọ́n pa ẹnikẹ́ni. ìmọ̀ràn tèmi sí àwọn olùgbòròyìn ni pé kí wọ́n kìsà ká máa wo ohun tó ń lọ nílùú irú ìjọba wo la ní kí wọ́n tó mọ bí wọ́n ó ṣe ṣe fún ẹ̀mí ara kí wọ́n bá dẹ́mi ara wọn ní gbòdò.
nínú ìwòye tiẹ̀ ọ̀gbẹ́ni Fẹ́mi Ìdòwú ní àwọn akọ̀ròyìn ni wọn ò lè sọdọ̀ abẹ́ ń kò mọ́ nítorí owó tàbí ipò tí kò sì rí bẹ́ẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀. Ó dábàá pé kí ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ wáyé fún àwọn akọ̀ròyìn nítorí yóò ró wọn lágbára láti máa sọ òdodo.
kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ tí ó fi dàbí gómìnira ẹ̀ pọ̀ láyé nígbà tiwa a ní ìgboyà a ní wọ́n kọ́ wa a gba ẹ̀kọ́ iṣẹ́ yìí a pinnu láti ṣe bó ṣe yẹ ká ṣe. àwọn ò ní problem pé a fẹ́ gba owó lọ́wọ́ ẹnìkan kì í ṣe pé kò ṣẹlẹ̀ o but it was not kì í ṣe nǹkan tó jẹ́ number one fún wa nìyẹn. nǹkan tó jẹ́ number one fún wa láyé ìgbà ẹ̀ ni pé kí n ṣe report tí gbogbo èèyàn máa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ẹ̀ even tó bá máa nira personally kò yẹn ò mátà ìyẹn ò ṣe pàtàkì but tí ò bá di ìgbà tí àwọn èèyàn wa tó ń ṣe iṣẹ́ ìròyìn tó ń ṣe program tó bá ní ìgboyà láti ṣe bó ṣe yẹ kó ẹni tó bá ń tẹ̀lé òfin àti ìlànà ìyà lè jẹ ò but nígbẹ̀yìn ó máa yọ ọ̀gbẹ̀yìn ni.
àwọn èèyàn náà rọ ìjọba pé kó pèsè àyíká tó rọrùn fún àwọn akọ̀ròyìn láti ṣiṣẹ́ wọn bó ti yẹ láì ṣègbè. Dámilọ́lá Owólabí ló ń ròyìn fún iléeṣẹ́ BCOS.
lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí ni wọ́n ti kó lọ sáwọn ẹkùn mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta tó wà ní ìpínlẹ̀ Anambra láti fi tọpinpin ìhùwàsí àwọn ọlọ́pàá lásìkò ètò ìdìbò gómìnà tí ó wáyé ní ìpínlẹ̀ náà lọ́jọ́ àbámẹ́ta ọ̀sẹ̀ yìí. ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ló wà nínú àtẹ̀jáde tí olórí fún ètò ìròyìn àti ìkànsíraẹni nínú àjọ náà ọ̀gbẹ́ni Ikechukwu Ani fi síta. Adarí pátápátá àti alága àjọ ọ̀hún igbákejì ọ̀gá ọlọ́pàá tó ti fẹ̀yìntì Ashimu Argungu náà kìlọ̀ pé gbogbo àwọn ọlọ́pàá tí wọ́n bá wà lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ ni wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ fi síbì kan kí wọ́n sì tún rí dájú pé wọ́n ní ìkóra ẹni níjàánu. Bákan náà ni wọ́n sì gbọ́dọ̀ rí i pé ààbò wà fún òṣìṣẹ́ elétò ìdìbò àti àwọn nǹkan èlò ìdìbò ni wọ́n bá kó lọ sí ìpínlẹ̀ náà. Alága àjọ náà tún pàṣẹ pé gbogbo àwọn ọlọ́pàá tó bá wà lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ ni wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ rí dájú pé àwọn pèsè àyíká tó dára fún àwọn èèyàn ìpínlẹ̀ Anambra láti dìbò láìsí ìdíwọ́ kankan pẹ̀lú àfikún pé èyíkéyìí ọlọ́pàá tó